Hello, art students. Today our art project is going to be making Indian corn, and our elements are going to be shape and color, and supplies we'll need are paper and pencil and something to do black outline, either a Sharpie or a black crayon or a black pencil. We'll also need some different colors of crayons and watercolors. Have you ever seen Indian corn? Well, Native Americans used to grow this, and when the colonists came to America, they taught them how to cultivate Indian corn hundreds of years ago. They have such pretty colors on them that I thought this would be wonderful to do for a fall project. So we're going to be drawing these shapes of the Indian corn and the stalks coming out the top, and then drawing these kernels and then putting on color. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make the shape, just the outside shape of the corn cobs. So don't do it too dark. Go slow enough that you can control the shape. Okay? I'm going to do 3 like the picture I showed you, but if you want to do 4, you can. And you can have them go different angles, be at slightly different sizes. That's your choice. Now, did you see I made them pretty big on the page? That middle one is like as big as my whole hand. So use your paper really well. Okay, now I'm going to do some just wavy lines for my stalks. Okay, now I'm ready to do my Sharpie. So we want to give that effect of the kernels there. So do you see how I've got that wavy line? Let me put it up close. Okay, so I'm going to come in here with something dark, preferably black. And I'm doing, this is called a scallop line. I'm doing many, many, many scallops. It's gonna take you a couple minutes. And then also go over your wavy lines. Okay, is it starting to look like corn? Now inside the shapes, let's look at this one. Inside here, we're going to do shapes like circles and ovals, and they don't have to be perfect. In fact, I think it probably looks better if they're a little irregular. Okay, let's look again at this one. Okay, so we're just going to start making oval and circle shapes. Can you see I'm not making them perfect? And sometimes I do a full circle like that, but sometimes I can just make like a U at the bottom and it fills that in. It looks like a kernel of corn. And I'm varying the size a little bit. So this is going to be the longest part of the project, is putting all those kernels of corn in. Then the next thing I want you to do is I want you to color black in between. Or if you don't have a black, you could use a dark blue or a dark brown. So let me remind you, we're making lots of circles or ovals or even a scallop line and then come down. Or even a wavy line and then turning that shape into kind of a oval or circle so it looks like lots of rows of corn. I actually like to change every so often. I'll do circles for a while, and then if I get tired of it, then I do a scallop. Okay, so we've got these in-between places. We're filling them in with black. So by now, you should not be on your pencil at all, because this step, we don't want to do it in pencil because it takes so long already. Let's just go right into our Sharpie. Do all of our kernels with our black Sharpie or whatever you're going to be outlining with. And just come in between, get some spots in between your shapes. Okay, so that will take you at least 10 minutes. Okay, so here's mine that's all done. So I don't know if you noticed on here, but there's some crayon on here before the watercolor. So we're going to take several different colors. It can even be purple and red and green. And then every so often, fill in a kernel. And here's something kind of funny. You can do it kind of messy. I'm just gonna get a little smattering of orange in there, but it can look kind of messy. That little extra color makes it look special. Now, another thing, you could go like in a circle. I kind of like that. It goes really fast that way. Now, if you wanted to, you could change the colors that you use in each ear of corn. Notice this one is mostly blue, but with a little green. Let's see if I've got, here's my blue. I'm gonna do this one, mostly blue. And now I'm gonna go to green. And I've got a light green. I think that would be fun. And then just for a change of pace, I'm going to put a warm color. Warm colors are orange, red, and yellow. And cool colors are green, blue, and purple. Since this has a lot of cool colors, I thought it needs a little bit of orange, a little bit of warm color in there. Okay, now you do not have to fill them all in. I'm gonna do a little trick on this one where I'm gonna do like a few at a time. If you start getting tired of all that coloring, you can fill in a section. So yellow, orange, and red, what kind of colors do we call them in art? We call them the warm colors. Okay, I think we have enough. Now the next thing that I'm going to want you to do is get a brown crayon, because we want to give the effect back here that this is like wood. So this looks kind of messy, but it looks like wood. So we're going to give it a try. So you're just going to do some long lines, not through the corn, just in the background. So I'm mostly doing up and down lines, but a little bit on the diagonal sometimes. I'm going kind of fast. Okay, so now we're ready for our watercolor. I'm gonna get my watercolor over here and my water. And I'm going to start with the stalks. Now the stalks are going to be shades of brown, yellow, and orange. Let's look at that picture here. I love the look of that. I'm going to start with my lightest color. I think a lot of times that's a little bit easier to go light to dark. Now I'm gonna add some orange in there. Kind of looks like flames. And I'm gonna end up with some brown. Okay, when you're happy with that, it's time to move on. So let's go to our corn now. I'm going to start with my one with mainly warm colors. I'm going to start with orange here too. And I'm moving on to some orange. I'm going to just do some sections. And I'll do a little red. Kind of have to dig it in there sometimes if it's not coming out. Okay, I'm happy with that one. Moving to my middle one. I want this one to be all kinds of colors. So I want some green. And some blue. Just getting little sections in there. And some red. I'm going right over that crayon. And that actually makes a really awesome effect. It does what we call resist. So wherever the crayon is, as long as it's hard, it resists the watercolor. And it shows it a little bit still. I think it's really fun. Okay, one more to go. And this one, oh, I had this one mainly cool colors. So do you remember what our cool colors are? They're right together here. Green, blue, and purple. I'm gonna start with my green. You can either paint individual little kernels of corn, or you can do a section. Time for blue. Oh, are you having fun painting? I think it's so fun to paint. Now, some of you might not have paints. So then if you have crayons or colored pencils, that's what you're gonna use. But I want you to still really think about how you want each corn cob to be colored, how you wanna make it beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna end up with purple. Now, purple watercolor doesn't come out really well if it's very, very wet to your brush. So I'm dipping it in the water and I'm taking a lot of it out, but I'm gonna really dig this in here. Okay, yeah, that came out pretty good. I'm gonna check out wherever I've got a little spot that I could add some blue. Looking all around. Okay, did you get your corn cobs all painted? Now our last thing to do is our background. And this is a wooden fence. And we're gonna choose colors that are either light yellow, light orange, or light brown to put in the background. Let me show you this finished one again. They used light yellow, but I think they added a little bit of brown in there. Okay, I'm gonna start with yellow, and if I want it darker, I'm gonna go a little darker. Okay, I'm gonna add some water to that because I think it looks too yellow. I like that better. I'm gonna try that brown and see. Oh, that looks nice on top of the yellow. I'm happy with that. Get those little spots in between the stalks. If it is ever too dark, you can take your finger or a paper towel and wipe it down a little bit. If your corn cobs are dry, then you're in good shape, because then your water won't smear over into your brown or yellows that you're using for your fence won't smear over into your corn. I'm kind of going neat when I get by my corn because I don't want to wreck it. Okay, I'm ready to add a little more yellow now. I got bored of that brown and thought, okay, time for a new color. I'm almost done. So excited. Are you excited that fall is here? I love the fall. I'm from upstate New York, and we have beautiful falls there. Lots of Lots of trees turning color, their leaves. Ta-da! Does that look okay? How is yours looking? I hope you're happy with it and that you had a lot of fun. The things we talked about today are shape, talking about the kernel shape or the whole corn cob shape or the shape of the stalks. And we talked about color. These are warm colors. These are mostly cool colors. This is the combination. And then how you can mix colors together. So I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope you have a fantastic fall time. Bye-bye for now.